Last Epoch, multiplayer, go. Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. We have some new communication breaking down the state of the game, the state of the studio, and multiplayer. And we're going to check out that multiplayer gameplay right now. As always, I will share my thoughts. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to support smaller channels. All right, let's jump right into this multiplayer preview. So if you look top right on the map, you will see 4 purple icons. 4 people running. You don't gotta drag it up there, it's one click. Come on. Shoot him. Whew. Now I want to quickly talk about the good in what we just saw. It's nice seeing multiplayer up to date for Last Epoch. We've been asking for it for a while. I didn't see any frame rate drops. It looked very stable. It looked very smooth. So from that aspect, very nice job. Now I've been called a Last Epoch shill and all these different things in the past because I always cover Last Epoch in a positive light. I love the game, love the community, love the studio. I can openly admit that. But that doesn't mean that I won't give criticism feedback to 11th Hour Games about the game. And I'm going to give that right now. We've been waiting for multiplayer, and I can tell you that this video is not impressive. That doesn't mean that I'm not happy with it. I'm happy that I see multiplayer functioning correctly, but you showed us 4 very low-level characters not doing a whole lot, staying close together. I'd rather see how it's functioning with 2 endgame characters than 4 low-level characters, because I just keep thinking about all the time. It's a common discussion. How are 4 Necros running Wraiths gonna work in multiplayer? And it's a great question, because my main character is a Fire Necro. So from that aspect, I want to see what that looks like. But maybe you're not ready to show that, which is also totally fine, because it's still early in development. So that's all I'm going to say about that right now. There's plenty more to come in this video, but first, if you're new here, welcome. Obviously, you have stumbled upon the coolest ARPG site on YouTube, so please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know anytime I drop a video. We also have a full merch store on the channel available under the store tab. Lastly, we have officially dropped memberships for the channel, 5 tiers available. It is the best way to support me and my journey on YouTube. As always, thank you all for the support. Right now, we are on the official Last Epoch website under developer Developer blog, and I'm going to link this in the description below because there is so much to read, and I'm going to be doing a lot of paraphrasing. So if you want to go check it out for yourself, the link is in the description. Starting with the state of the studio. So 11th Hour Games is up to 50 members now. 50. So the studio continues to grow. And if you didn't know that this game was actually created through a Reddit post, and it was after hours project, and now it is, you know, a top ARPG in my opinion. And they are hiring. So of course I went over to the careers page and checked to see if there's anything that I can do, and there isn't. Character 3D artist, network developer, and environment 3D artist. I don't fit the bill. That's okay. But maybe if you do, I will also link that in the description below if you want to work for 11th Hour Games. Gearing up to be a live service game. You may notice that the speed at which we distribute hotfixes in 0.8.2 patch style. This was somewhat of a test to see how quickly, reliably, and safely we could integrate and deploy updates in the game without our tooling or processes breaking down. The good news is that we can now distribute updates quickly, which will help us stay agile and responsive for years to come. It is also a major boon to our multiplayer development since it allows us to deploy server and client builds much faster, which will significantly decrease iteration and testing times. Very cool. Multiplayer when it's ready. It's actually kind of funny. Wait, I gotta see. They say something in here that made me chuckle. While we're very happy with the progress, we're still plenty of bugs. I cannot overstate how important it is for 11th Hour Games and multiplayer is executed correctly. A bad initial multiplayer experience can harm the game for all players and jeopardize the success and reputation of the studio long term. Can you think of another studio that maybe rushed multiplayer and now has a bad rap? Why do I talk about Wolcen in every video now? Because that's basically Wolcen. Okay, we're gonna go back to multiplayer. Skipping multiplayer, and we are gonna go to performance and optimization. So they continue to work on the performance and optimization of the game, and they gave this little average frame rates. And obviously you can see that in all these different areas, the game continues to scale up and get better. And when I was looking at this, I'm like, wait a second, you're telling me that it peaks in one area, the Southern Plateau, at between 70 and 75 frames. I was like, that's not very much. Look at the PC they are using to run these tests. Ryzen 5 5600X, 32 gigs of RAM, and it's on an RX 480. RX 480 at 1080p medium settings. Step your game up, 11th Hour Games. Come on, a 480? It doesn't matter. Roadmap update, okay? So they basically have axed the old roadmap, and now we are going to get this, which in my opinion is so much better. We will now always know what is coming in the next update, and then what is coming after. So the after part is always going to be more flexible, and the coming part will be stuff that we are going to for sure be getting. So hopefully end of August, Necromancer skill updates, Void Knight skill updates, Monolith of Fate improvements, new Sentinel skills, 25 new unique items, new Primalist model, plus 20 new enemies, new bosses, new zones. And I'm sure this is just the big stuff. Like, this is going to be another huge update, but obviously these are the big points. And then when you look at after, you know, a lot of this stuff is still in there. Druid Transform rework, Lost Memories, reworked content, last 2 chapters, multiplayer testing, dungeons. So I have seen lots of posts and lots of buzz around this being in there, which confirms we are getting dungeons in the game. Endgame systems, Gates of Memoriam, legendary items, Eternity Cache, performance improvements, Rune Master, Warlock, and Falconeer. A lot of people want to know about those 3. You should probably have an update too for that. Trading, the Bazaar, favor system, another endgame system, Epoch's Call. So there is a lot coming. We're going to be getting dungeons, 2 more endgame systems. Eternity Cache is kind of an endgame system. Hunting for legendary items. There's going to be so much to do when we get 1.0. So that is the early access roadmap, and that is everything we have for this post. but we still have to go over the monthly multiplayer development update for July. And this is just as long, if not longer, than the update we just read, but they said going forward it'll be shorter. Since this is the first time, it's just going to take a little longer. So we're going to start with current multiplayer progress, basically what is going really well. And testing right now, they are playing it every single day. So 7 days a week, 11th Hour Games is working on multiplayer. So that is going very smoothly, basically the allocating of resources and make sure they're going after it. Gameplay. We put a lot of upfront effort into building tools that enable us to convert our current campaign, endgame, and quest into being multiplayer friendly. So being able to bounce in there where you are currently at and play with friends is good. Online inventory. So your stash, your inventory, loot drops, all good for multiplayer. Server authority. All of our features you would expect to be stored and saved online now do so. These are the features such as character saves, stashes, and quests. Your party's data is all controlled by the server. Characters are protected from manipulation, accessible anywhere you log in. So saves are working, right? So you'll be able to play it at home, then you're traveling, you could still log in and access that server with your character, all secure. Another good one. I might owe you an apology from earlier when I said it might be earlier in development or I wasn't impressed. That is all really good, and it sounds like the meat and potatoes of multiplayer is already there. Nice job. What are some of the major work in progress for multiplayer? So playing online, the actual matchmaking, okay, for a wider release. Gameplay, we're using the tools to finish preparing chapters, monsters, and endgame to work in a multiplayer format. Items, so there's a lot of unique items that do different things, and they all have to be individually tuned to make sure they work correctly with multiplayer. Server authority, making sure the player's position is fully authoritative. Right now it is partially so, but we need to ensure we have the correct logic in place for the rollback. And then the goals for July, and they've got some, I mean, what, just July 20th right now. Ensuring our content up to reaching endgame is polished and easy to play. Debugging the party system to make sure it's as smooth as possible. Planning an earlier access to one of our endgame systems in order to extend multiplayer play to make it viable for wider testing. I want to test it. I'll sign whatever paper. I'm here to help. Believe it or not. Collecting data. Optimizing the server side in order to save cost, and obviously they have to prep their servers for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that want to play and they're waiting for multiplayer. Getting our potions and idol systems working more fully so you can fully flesh out your character. Scaling up to approach the ability to test more widely. Thank you all for your patience. We want it to be as good as possible, and we already watched this. Again, 3 links in the description below. The initial update, the multiplayer, and the careers. I went through it as fast as humanly possible. There's so much data. I read through it twice to make sure I didn't miss anything, but obviously I didn't cover some of the other stuff. That is all the big points. Now, like I said earlier, this video that I watched right here, it wasn't overly impressive, but I think I was a little too harsh on 11th Hour Games. It looks like from reading all this, it is farther than we think, but obviously that last 20% takes a really long time. Making sure all the items work, making sure you're ready for 100,000 players, making sure balancing, making sure it's smooth, frame rates, all that type of stuff. It's only going to get better, and now we are going to get a monthly communication from 11th Hour Games, which is great. So we're always going to know the state of where it's at, instead of us just bombarding Mike on Fridays during his stream. It's going to be nice to be able to see it. So once again, 11th Hour Games, I mean, you are second to none when it comes to communication with your community and listening to the feedback we're giving you, because obviously we're going to read all this and we're going to initially start giving you feedback on multiplayer. So very nice job. I'm very impressed. Thank you for the constant communication. Keep it up. All right, everyone, that's the video. I only have one question for you today. How do you feel about the state of multiplayer in Last Epoch? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't joined the official Action RPG Discord, please do so. We're now over 1,000 members, great conversations every day. The idea is to create a gaming community that could jump from game to game together, so you never start the server alone. Link for that Discord is in the description. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.